Hello and welcome to this video blog, and in this video we're going to be talking about sidechain compression. Now, sidechain compression is a technique that we can use to change the pattern of our sounds from sounding something like this to this. Another term that can be used to describe that sound is ducking or pumping, but it's mainly achieved by using this technique that we call sidechain compression. Now, what's happening here is I've actually applied a compressor to my synth bass channel. And just over here on the sidechain section, I've assigned it to pick up a signal from bus 1. Now, what's going into bus 1? That would be this channel here, and it's basically just a kick, but in this instance, it's known as a trigger. And the reason it's known as a trigger is because we're not actually using it to receive the signal of the kick, but rather we're using it as a trigger to trigger the compression that's happening on the synth bass channel. So basically, every time the kick hits, the synth bass ducks or gets out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this channel and take you from the beginning. So first thing you need is obviously the sound that you want to apply the sidechain compression to. And in this instance, that will be our synth bass. Next thing we need to do is set up a kick or a trigger. And you can do this in many different ways. I just got a standard sampler, and into that I loaded any EDM type of kick drum. Okay, and once you have that, the next thing that we need to do is, using MIDI, we need to write in a typical simple 4 to the floor kick drum pattern. Okay, and then we just need to make sure that it covers the entire length of our synth bass. And there we have our kick. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to assign this signal to a bus. And the reason we need to do that is because our side chaining doesn't actually pick up or receive MIDI. It works with audio. So we need to send this MIDI track to a bus. And I'm just going to select bus 4. Now we have audio coming out on bus 4. So now we need to stop the audio from being heard. And the reason we do that, as I said before, is because we are using this specifically as a trigger to trigger the compressor on the synth bass. So the next thing that we need to do is to actually apply a compressor to our synth bass channel. If you haven't seen my video on compression, it's probably best to watch that, preferably before this one, so you will understand how and why I'm using these parameters the way that I am to achieve that ducking, sidechaining sound effect. Okay, so now we're going to assign our sidechaining section to receive the signal from bus 4, and that is the bus that we sent our trigger to. So now I'm just going to mess around with these parameters until we get a nice sound. I just want to mention something about these two options here. By default, your compressor might have RMS selected, and what that means is that the compressor is working with the average loudness of the signal coming in, the trigger. We want to have peak selected for sidechaining so that we get this quick, more transient type of sound effects, if that makes sense. What I'll do is I'll play you the difference between the two so you can hear it. Peak. Okay, that doesn't sound too bad actually. So let's listen to this in context with the rest of the track. Okay, that is sidechain compression. If you have any questions about what we've spoken about today, or if you have any topics that you'd like me to cover, feel free to hit us up on facebook.com/writehitsongs. Alternatively, you could send us an email on the contact page of our website, which is www.thesongwritingschool.net. I really hope this video blog has been useful to someone, and until next time, take care.